Okay, let's see if I can fill up an hour here. I'm trying to fill up an hour on a Monday night, and I'm fucking tired to begin with. Um, and then I got New England Natives with Tom at 9:30, so it's like 8 o'clock right now on a Monday night. If you're listening via the podcast app, whatever your preferred podcast app is. Um, Tom messaged me earlier today and said, "Hey, you want to do the show tonight?" Because we tried to last week, and I can't remember why things didn't work out, but they just didn't. I know that I had a busy week last week, anyways, and was working, 14 days in a row or something like that, 10, 12-hour days. So it was a long couple weeks, and I feel like I'm still recovering from it, even though I've had a couple days off since then, and even a couple like light days. It just feels like I'm still recovering from that much fucking work. Which, I mean, it's been a while. Like, back before I became a full-time employee at the post office, I was a temporary employee. And working 10 or 12 hours a day and working, 14, 21, 28, 35 days in a row was nothing. Like, that was normal. Once Amazon came to the post office, basically. Once we started doing Amazon package delivery on Sundays, I mean, fucking forget it. It was every Sunday was work. When I started at the post office, we only, like, I only had to work Sundays once every 4 or 5 weeks, and it was just to go in. It was, you were there for 4 hours. You went in and you just went out and delivered some express mail, and then that was it, and you were done for the day. So, like, it was real nice, every four, we rotated between the temporary employees. One guy would do it one Sunday, and then the next Sunday, the next guy would do it, and so on. And so you only had to do it every 4 or 5 weeks. And then, like, Amazon came to the post office in like 2014 or 2015, and forget it. I mean, we just, after that, it was Sunday delivery every Sunday, and it was an 8-hour day. Maybe not an 8-hour day, like a 6-hour day, 6 or 7-hour day. So, but either way, the last few Sundays I volunteered to deliver on Sunday, and basically just trying to make some extra money because we're going away this weekend, and I wanted to make some extra money so that we can have some money to spend while we're away. After this weekend, I'll talk more about that. But either way, yeah, I feel like I'm still recovering from those 2 weeks of so much work. And then, tonight wasn't like a wicked late night, but still, it was I don't know, it was just a fucking drag. It was a drag to work 10 hours today. So, but I'm here now, and that's where I was going, was for whatever reason, me and Tom didn't do the show last week, didn't do New England Natives last week. So we're doing it tonight. He messaged me earlier today and said, like, what do you have for availability this week? And I was like, I'm looking at my calendar for the week thinking, like, there's no other night that I'm either that I'm going to be able to or that I'm going to want to. Like, there's plenty of nights that I technically would be available, but we have a bunch of shows and stuff and movies. We still haven't seen Thor, the fourth Thor movie, which honestly I can't believe they came out with a fourth Thor movie. I mean, I'm excited about it and I can't wait to see it, but I just can't believe they did a fourth movie. Where so many things are like just trilogies. So many things are, you get a trilogy. You get your 3 regular movies. You get Thor 1, 2, 3, Captain America 1, 2, 3, Iron Man 1, 2, 3. All these movies get a trilogy, and so I'm a little surprised that Thor got a fourth movie. I'm totally okay with it, though. Like, if it were up to me, then these fucking actors would get into a role and then just keep doing that role for the rest of their fucking lives. Doesn't even matter, I mean, now I'm going to have a hard time trying to think of, like, an actor that I, like, Keanu Reeves, right? And let's live in a world where the fourth Matrix movie was actually a good movie. But I also love the John Wick movies. I don't know. No, I don't think I mentioned it on this. I finally just saw John Constantine, or I guess the movie is called Constantine. I finally just saw that movie a few weeks ago, and it is awesome. And I can't believe I never saw it. It came out in like 2005. So, but man, it's such a good movie. It's like, if you haven't seen Constantine, which I'm sure most of you are probably thinking to yourself, how have you not seen Constantine? It is a supernatural John Wick, is basically what Constantine is. Joe from the Bridge said Thor is great, better soundtrack than Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't wait to see it. I'm hoping that we get to see it this week. The problem, like, we were gonna watch it yesterday, but the problem is I don't want this to be the type, because we watch movies and shit all the time. But what we'll end up doing is we end up watching, like, we'll split it in half. Like, we'll watch an hour one night and then watch an hour the next night or something like that. And this is a movie that I don't want to split in half. I want to sit down and watch it start to finish in one shot, have some popcorn and some drinks while we do it. So hopefully we'll get to watch it some night this week. We'll see. We have a few other things going on this week, so we'll see if we get around to watching it this week. I hope so. But anyways, Constantine. Like, so Keanu Reeves plays John Constantine. He also plays John Wick. He also plays Neo. Like, if he wanted to just play those characters, like, those are movies that I could see happen forever. Like I don't care if there's fucking 15 John Wick movies and 30 fucking Matrix movies and another 10 Constantine movies. Like if you see someone in a role that you like, I don't want those fucking movies to end. So we'll see what happens with the Thor movie. I got to imagine this has got to be the last one, right? Like, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what the ending looks like, but come on, like, this has to be the last one. How many Thor movies can they make? Guardians, I mean, the thing that sucks about, many things sucked about COVID, but, one of the greatest things that sucked about COVID was just how much it put off so many movies. Like, the third John Wick movie came out in 2019, I think, and now the third movie is not coming out until 2023. So 4 years between sequels, if you will. That's a long ways to go. Like, Sicario might have gotten a third movie if it hadn't been for COVID, which I enjoyed the two Sicario movies. I like the first one better than the second one. But anyways, yeah, so all of that, movies and stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit more. I know that my last episode, I recorded at like 11:30 or midnight, after having, many drinks throughout the night. So I was I was already tired, and then I added alcohol, and then I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And I think I haven't listened back to it, but I think that I was probably very sleepy on the microphone. So, but as far as comfort zone stuff, I want to talk more about that a little bit. So a few weeks ago, right, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, because Ro has been telling me for probably a year, like, I should find like a sport of some sort that I want to do, some sort of, social activity, right? So she talked to me about it a little over a year ago, and that's when I started going to the gym, because that's something I know how to do. Right, I know how to fucking go to the gym because it's something where I can go and I can put my headphones on and I can be by myself and I don't have to fucking talk to anyone. And that's my comfort zone. And I talked about that last week about, like, that's my comfort zone, is to just, like, be a fucking loner, per se, kind of, sort of. And she had mentioned, like, looking at some of the My Social Sports stuff. My Social Sports is a website. I don't know how regional it is. It's I don't know if it's just northern New England or if it's just a New England thing or if it's all over the country. I'm not sure, but either way, I looked at the website a couple times, and, like, there's cornhole on there, there's volleyball, there's softball, there's ultimate frisbee. I mean, there's just a bunch of different stuff that you can sign up to join, and none of it was really appealing to me. Like, none of it, like, cornhole a little bit. Cornhole was a little appealing to me until I played that fucking tournament that I talked about a few episodes ago. Cornhole was a little appealing to me, and that's the type of thing that I think that if I played more or if I practiced more, then I'd be pretty good at it. I think that I'd be pretty good at it. I don't know that I'd be, going to New York to do competitions good, but I think that I'd be much better than where I am now, if I practiced more and played more and went to more tournaments and stuff. So, but that was something that interests me. But then I'm looking at, I looked at, the app that I talked about and how much games are and, how much money it's going to cost and all this shit, right? So I was kind of out on it. And then about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I'm sitting downstairs and my mate is upstairs taking a shower. And I'm kind of just, killing time before she comes down because we're going to watch a show, whatever show that was going to be. So I'm just killing time before she comes back downstairs. And I go on this my Social Sports website, and I go through their list of different, leagues. And I see that they have coming up, and this is, again, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had coming up flag football. Now, I'm not a football guy. I don't watch football. I never played football. I didn't play football in high school. I didn't play football as a child. None of it. I've shown zero interest in football. It's just never really been my thing. But I looked at the website and saw flag football is starting, and I think that it said the date to register for it, the final date was September 6th, and games were starting on September 11th. And I sent her a screenshot, I think, of the thing and just said not this year because, I want to work a bunch of Sundays and really drive myself into the fucking ground. I didn't say it in that. I didn't really say it in that way. I did say I want to work a lot of Sundays and make a bunch of money over the course of the next couple months to get ready for Christmas and whatever. But maybe next year I'll sign up for this. And she comes downstairs and she's all excited, which is arguably if she's really excited about a thing, it's really hard for me to say no to a thing. I'm like, okay, find a way to make it happen. So she comes downstairs, she's really excited, and I'm telling her no, I can't. I can't afford, I look at this and I see dollar signs. I see $60 and I see me losing money by working on Sundays. Or not working on Sundays, not making that money. And, I can't really afford to. And so we talked about, we stood on the couch for we must have sat on the couch that night for an hour while she talks to me about, kind of the importance of taking some time to myself, which I never do. She really fucking smacked some sense into me that night, because she was like, you never take any time for yourself. You don't take any time off from work. You wake up, you go to the gym, you go to work, and you come home and you're with me. And it's really great to be together. This is kind of how she puts it. She was like, it's really great to spend so much time together, but you need some time to just chill out by yourself. You don't have it. And I tried to justify it from my end. I was like, I have time by myself every day. Because I'm doing my mail thing, and I just get my headphones on and I'm not actually interacting with anyone. So I have plenty of time to myself. And she's like, no, that's not the same. It's not the same as being able to sleep in on a fucking Wednesday. And you need to, I don't think that she put it quite as, you need to get out of your comfort zone, but she certainly was saying you need to, you should be doing a thing. The gym is great and everything, but that's still just a thing where you're not actually interacting with other people, and you should have something. So I was like, we talked for an hour about this, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I wasn't, in full disclosure and total honesty, I wasn't thrilled about it. And at that moment, I wasn't thrilled about it. I was thinking to myself, great, I'm going to spend $60 to do this. And I'm going to, lose, $100, $200 a week because I can't work on Sundays. And, I'm not going to, maybe I'll be able to work my day off, but then on Sundays, and, I'm not going to be able to sleep in because games are somewhere between 9 and 11:30 a.m. And then it was only a couple days later that I followed through on what I said, and I signed up for it. And that was 2 weeks ago, I think, that I signed up for it. And then I start getting the emails about, here's game times, here's the first game of the season, which was yesterday. First game of the season, and I fucking loved it almost immediately. And I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know a goddamn thing. I still don't know anything about football. Her and I on Saturday night, I I read the rules out loud to her. So I had a general idea of what some things mean. Like I knew what offsides and false start and delay a game and tackles and fucking, actually tackle and flag football, but everyone fucking, like, all the people yesterday were like, good tackle. When someone grabbed someone else's flag, they'd be like, good tackle. Things like that. Like I had a very, 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 very basic knowledge. I didn't know what downs were. I didn't know what like a fourth down or fucking first down or, any of that stuff meant. I had no idea what that meant. I still am not 100% there, but I have a mildly better understanding of the game now. But either way, I definitely fell very much in love with it. Almost immediately. I was like, I was out on the field thinking to myself, maybe just after halftime, I was like, I'm so glad and she came with me, which was awesome. Like, because I go to all of her softball games and I love going to her softball games. It's one of my favorite fucking summer activities. And it was a busy softball summer. But I love going to her softball games and hanging out in the bleachers and talking to the other husbands or whatever is there, husbands, boyfriends, other players that, they just finished playing a game, but now they're just hanging out watching. Like I love doing that and also cheering for her when she, hits a ball or fucking makes a good catch or a good play or something like that. Like I love doing that. But it was a really cool like role reversal for me to be the one on the field and she's the one on the bleachers and she's the one watching me play now. And like I had a couple good quote unquote tackles and to hear her, hollering out from the stands, or when I made a catch and her hollering out from the stands. It was just a really, really cool change of pace to have her be the one that was now cheering me on. So, and I mean, that's one of those things that we talk about is how good we are to each other. But anyways, where I was going with all that was getting out of your comfort zone. Like comfort zone, like that is not something that I wanted to do, but I was really, I wasn't pushed. I mean, it wasn't like she fucking forced me or anything like that. It wasn't like she was like, do it or we're fucking breaking up. It wasn't nothing like that. Not even remotely close. But it was like this is my comfort zone, is to fucking sleep in on Sunday and hang out on the couch and watch TV all day or something like that. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to leave. This is my comfort zone, and I don't want to leave my comfort zone. And, the more that you stick around, and maybe this is some stuff that I already fucking said, because like I said, I might have been drinking a little bit that last episode, and I was tired, so I have not listened back to it, so I don't know how much I said already, but sticking around in your comfort zone, no matter what it is, it doesn't really matter what it is. If your comfort zone, even if you fucking play a sport, like if you play, softball, for example, if you play softball and you're like, look, I always play in right field. I always play in right field. That's the only place that I play is right field. I go to right field and that's it. And you don't want to go play first base or catch or fucking left field or something like that, or shortstop. You don't want to do any of these other things because your comfort zone is in right field, and that's all you want to do. You don't want to learn anything else. You don't want to fucking try anything else because your comfort zone is right there in right field. Then life will force you out of your comfort zone at some point, whether you like it or not. Like the more you try to just stick around in your comfort zone, then it's just the life and universe is just gonna find a way to push you out of your comfort zone. I spent many years just being like, this is my comfort zone. I sit on the couch, I drink whiskey all fucking night, I drink beer all night until I can't fucking keep my eyes open, and it's 1 or 2 in the morning, and I've put on fucking 30 pounds, and this is my comfort zone, and I don't care, and I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life until I die. And that was my comfort zone until finally one day life came along and pushed me out of my comfort zone. And just life came along and was basically like, look, you can stay here and be miserable, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to be miserable. You're going to stay miserable for as bad as I can make it, and it's only going to keep getting worse. Or you can make the decision to get up, get out of your fucking comfort zone, and life will take notice and start giving you the opportunities to make things better. Like if you like, you could just stick around in your comfort zone. It doesn't even need to be a bad comfort zone, but you could just stick around in your comfort zone. But if you are willing to take the chance to move out of it and try new things and meet new people, then life will take notice and things will become even better. Even if they're already good, things will become even better. I feel like I'm living, breathing proof of that. So anyways, I guess that's as much as I had to say about comfort zone. But as far as flag football goes, I'm pumped for more games. Derek asked me what position I play. Hey man, I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I felt like I was running around that field with no clue what I'm doing. I know that I'm not the quarterback, so how about that? I am the team captain. I got named the team captain almost right away. But that was another thing of like getting out of your comfort zone. I'm not comfortable in any way, shape, or form taking on the responsibility of being the one that my team has to come to and say, well, you're the captain of the team. I'm not in that position. I'm not comfortable with that at all. But we're getting ready to start our game, and we have a team of free agents, which is basically people that just didn't have a team to go to already, because there's like 5 or 6 teams signed up for this league, and there must be like six teams. I think there's like 6 teams signed up for this league, and the other teams were people that like have either played before, they've played in past seasons, or they know each other somehow. Like it's all people that know each other. And then my team is made up of people just like me who were like, hey, I'm looking for a thing to do. I think there might be a couple people that were like, you know, that were friends before this that were like, oh, this looks fun, let's try it. But it's mostly people that, you know, have never played before or never played. Like the first guy that I met, his name is Scott, cool dude. He ended up being our quarterback. He ended up being great. He showed up so like a few days before our first game. I had sent an email to the team saying I've never played this game before. I don't know anything about football. So, if anyone has any, tips or anything that they want to give me, feel free to send them. And nobody replied to that email. And then I show up on Sunday morning, and the first guy I meet is this guy, Scott. And he goes, I introduced myself, and he goes, oh, are you the one that sent that email? And I said, yeah. And he goes, were you being serious? I go, yeah. And he goes, like, you've never played this before at all? I go, no. He goes, not even in high school? I said, no. He's like, but you watch football? I go, nope, I don't watch football either. And then he's like, okay. But he ended up being really cool. We ended up doing some practice throwing back and forth. And then, as more people show up, we all start introducing each other, to each other, introducing ourselves to each other. And then, there ended up being only 6 of us from my team. There's 14 people on the roster. There ended up only being 6 people from my team that showed up on Sunday, and then we borrowed 2 players from a game that had just ended, and it's 8-on-8. So as we go forward into this thing, hopefully I can get my team together, and maybe if we can't, at least run some plays, at least we can maybe figure out some positioning of like, hey, this is when we're doing defense, this is where you are. This is, when we're doing offense, this is where you are. This is your position. It'd be great to run some plays to be like, hey, you're going to fucking, I'm going to fucking throw the ball this way. This is what I'm going to do. When we snap the ball, we're going to do this, X, Y, Z, whatever. So, it ended up being a pretty good game for a team that has never met each other, much less played together. The first half, we were up. At the end of the first half, we were up 20-0, which was great. We lost the game overall 28-22. and it's played differently than regular football. Regular football, a touchdown's worth 6, and then you have. I guess it's really not played very much different as far as scoring goes. There's no field goal. What you can do is you get a touchdown, that's 6 points, and then you can do a 1 point whatever. I don't know what they call it. I forget what they call it. A one. I guess they call it. Maybe they do call it a field goal, but it's not like a kicking field goal. It's played more like a. It's played as a running play from like the 10-yard line, and you have, I think, maybe 10 seconds. I think you have like 10 or 12 seconds. It's played from the 10-yard line, and you have 12 seconds to get into the end zone, and then you can do a 2-point conversion where it's played from the 12-yard line, and you have 10 seconds. So it's reverse. It's either you have from the 10-yard zone, 10-yard line, and you have 12 seconds to get into the end zone, or it's the 12-yard line and you have 10 seconds to get into the end zone. And every game, every play that I saw the entire day, everyone went for the 2-point conversion, because the reality was that it just doesn't make it. It doesn't, when it's really, you're just talking about a couple seconds and you're talking about a few feet. It doesn't make enough of a difference to not go for the 2 points in total. So we ended up losing 28-22. Sucks for sure. Sucks, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it always sucks to lose, to be the losing team, no matter what. And I certainly don't want to be the team that loses all season long. That's something that I don't want. So it would be nice to, even if we can't get together during the week, to at least talk back and forth with each other during the week. We started a group chat, a group thread, whatever, today between most of the team. Like I said, there's 14 people on the roster, and the group chat has like 12 people in the chat if you include myself. So most of us are communicating already, which is good. And unfortunately, I'm going to be away this weekend. I'm hoping, because the actual schedule hasn't even come out yet. The actual schedule comes out hopefully this week. I got to get in contact with the My Social Sports people about the actual schedule, because they released the schedule last week and they said it was really just for this Sunday and to ignore all future game schedules, and that they would make a real schedule and get it out to us. So I don't know. I actually don't know when my next game will be, because we do have bye weeks. So I'm hoping that this Sunday ends up being our bye week, so that I can say, I never missed a game. I played the entire season. Would be nice. I think it goes for like 8 weeks. Like it ends like the last weekend of October or the first weekend of November or something like that. And then there's a playoff game too for the top 2 teams. And the way that they seed everyone is, and I hate to be the negative guy, but I'm gonna, I don't know how, we're the underdogs for sure. If you want to place a $5 bet on my team on like FanDuel for who's going to make it to the championship, then you'd probably come out really big on that. That's what I'm going to say about that. But the way that it's played is that like the team we played against yesterday, they got 2 points for winning the game, and we got 0, obviously. If it's a tie game, they don't do overtime. So if it's a tie game, then each team at the end of 4 quarters or the second half, they play it in 2 20-minute halves. So there's no quarters. So a 20-minute half, first half, a 20-minute first half, and then like a 5 or 10-minute halftime, and then another 20-minute half. I think that's how it went. It seemed like it was about 10 minutes. So there's no overtime. So if at the end of your 2 halves, if it's a tie game, then each team gets 1 point. And then the end of the season, the 2 teams with the most points are going to the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. I definitely, like I said, I already fell in love with it almost right away. Like, I've seen Ro go to a bunch of softball games, or not even seen her, where like she's texted me before. She goes to a game at like 9 in the morning or something on a Sunday morning, plays her game until 10:15 or 10:30, whatever, and then sends me a text message and says, "Hey, this other team needed a girl, so I'm gonna stay and play. I'm gonna play I'm gonna fill in for someone on this other team, which we're allowed to do on our flag football team." So, that's entirely something that I might end up doing, or probably, hopefully, end up doing. I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, like I said the other day, we ended up having to do that. That might have just been a first day thing, and that might have been a this team is made up of people that don't actually know each other. So there may be some people who just gave away $60. There may be some people on this team that are just like, I want to sign up just to say that I signed up, but I'm never actually going to end up coming to any games. But we'll see. I mean, there's already been some text messages today from people that were not there yesterday saying like, I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday, but I'm going to be at the games going forward. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm psyched about it. I'm very much I'm like already looking forward to the next game. Jason said, "Hey BB." Jason said, "Cigar bar episode. Can you do like 9ish?" Ooh, I can do a 9 o'clock episode. Yeah. You tell me a date, just not this weekend. Derek said, "Just watched your clip on defense. You got quick hands. Looked at the offense. Pick looks like you lined up as a tight end." Yeah, sure. I know. I don't. Although I do remember someone saying that I would make a good tight end. And then it was actually kind of nice. Like nearing the end of the game, I heard the other team saying, "Watch out for that guy." So So it was, that was kind of a cool thing of like, hey, gotta watch out for me. Let's see here, and not this weekend. And BB is baby. No, baby is baby. BB is, I don't know. It's two letters squished together. It's not a word. And I had to ask the question, and now you had to explain it to me. You didn't save any time. You could have just said baby. So I watched a show on Netflix recently called I know that I talked about some movies and stuff earlier, but I watched a show on Netflix yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, like fucking I came home from that football game. First of all, thank goodness for my mate, because on Saturday I missed the gym on Saturday morning. And I texted Ro during the day, and that's because fucking Planet Fitness changed their goddamn hours to being they open at 7:00 on Saturday mornings, which is way too late for me. Like I emailed the corporation, didn't really expect to get a reply, but I emailed them anyways, saying like, man, 4 hours would make a real difference on Saturdays. 2 hours on either end of that fucking 7:00. Open at 5, close at 9 p.m. because they're only open 7 to 7 on Saturdays. Which is stupid. Like I've been there at 9:00, 10:00 at night and seen plenty of people there. So I'm really surprised that they went with that. I assume maybe it's probably a staffing thing. It's more of a staffing thing than it is a people using the gym on Saturday type of thing. But either way, I missed the gym on Saturday morning because I couldn't go because they don't open till 7. So I text Ro and I said, I'm not going to be out of work until probably 5:30, so I'm going to just come home and I'm going to go for a run and then I'll do a workout in the living room. And a few hours later, she texts me and says, hey, I have a suggestion for you as far as working out tonight. I said, okay, yeah, what's up? And she said maybe you just come home and do some stretching instead. Don't fucking go out and kill yourself because you don't know what it's going to be like playing football tomorrow. Like you don't know if maybe you're going to, you don't want to gas yourself tonight and then go out and play football tomorrow and, you're showing up in pain because you've already done a workout the night before, which I thought was a good idea. So I said, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So, and I didn't even end up stretching on Saturday night. I ended up stretching Sunday morning before the game, which is also good. I mean, I guess I could have done both and maybe going forward I will. But so I do my stretching Sunday morning and then go play the game, and it was an hour. I mean, that was an hour on the field and that was like a legit workout. Like, I was sweating my fucking ass. Plus it was hot and humid yesterday anyways, but man, I was sweating my fucking ass off. The shirt we got, I'm not wearing it right now, but it's a red My Social Sports t-shirt. My team color is red, and that shirt was absolutely completely soaked, and I absolutely loved it. There were people that were like, oh, I can't wait for the cold weather to show up and do this in the cold weather. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, this is great. Like, playing like this in the fucking hot, humid weather, like, this is free calorie burn as far as I'm concerned. So that ended up being a fucking workout anyways, and it was a rigorous hour on the field. And then we drove home. We came straight home, and Rose said, I'm going to go out and run some errands. And I said, okay, I'm just going to sit down on the couch. And I have my own Sunday chores, right? Like, yesterday was vacuuming the apartment and brushing my cat. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking sit here on the couch for a minute, and then I'm gonna get on with my chores. And I start doing, she leaves, and I sit on the couch, and an hour later I texted her, and I was like, I haven't moved since you left. I'm gonna get up and start my chores soon, but I haven't even moved off of this couch. And I sat there for a second like, oh, maybe I could go for a run. And that thought dissipated almost as quick as it came into my head. I was like, I'm not going to go for a fucking run. It's Sunday. I'm going to fucking knock my chores out, and then I'm going to chill on the couch for a little while. So anyways, I watched a show on Netflix. It's called Pine Gap. It's arguably okay. I'll put it that way. It's only 6 episodes, and it's very like remember the parts of, like, if you remember the show 24, which was a great show. That's like an example of the John Wick type thing, where I could watch Kiefer Sutherland play Jack Bauer on the show 24 for 100 seasons. I could watch that forever. It's true shame that they ended that show. They never should have ended that show. I don't know why they did. Cash cow. They could have just kept that show going forever, like The Simpsons. But anyways, Pine Gap, if you remember the show 24, there was always it was like, who the fuck is doing the hiring at CTU? Because there was always a mole. There was always someone selling secrets to someone else. There was always someone working inside against these federal agents or whatever. Every season there was that. And Pine Gap it's like that part of the show 24. Just the entire season is kind of like that. Because the show starts off with a mole inside of this very secretive Australian-American alliance surveillance counterintelligence place. So like Pine Gap is a real place. If you Google Pine Gap, it's a real place in Australia. And it's a satellite system that does surveillance of some sort. I don't know if it's surveillance or if it's monitoring of terrorist groups, or what it actually does. But I mean, the place itself is shrouded in conspiracy. But the show starts off with a mole, and then they spend 6 episodes kind of, loosely searching for this mole, but also kind of touching on the relationship aspect of working in a place like this, and how your family life, like if working for the CIA or Secret Service is anything like having to work at this place, where you can't even talk to your spouse about your day, or like they kind of touch on, there's one person in the show who tries to get a boyfriend, but then she has to let her boyfriend know, or this guy, not even a boyfriend, they're not even dating yet, they've been on like 2 or 3 dates together, and she has to, now that they've gone on like 3 dates, she has to let him know, like, hey, if we're going to take this further, then you have to, I have to put you through a background check, and they're going to look into your social media, and they're going to look into, who you're friends with, and they're going to look into, who you talk to on a daily basis on your phone and all this shit. Like, man, if fucking working for the government is anything like that, like working for like these places like Secret Service, CIA, NSA, doing that kind of thing, like, it's one thing to, like, if you apply for that job and they want to do a background check like that on you, no matter how extensive, like, you applied for the job, it was a voluntary thing. But then to say, like, we're also, every relationship that you ever get into, every friendship, like, we're going to scrutinize that, like, man, fuck that shit. Not something that I would want. But either way, I finished watching the show yesterday, and it was okay. It was arguably okay. It was, I don't feel like I wasted too much of my life watching the show. But who knows where it goes in the future. Let's see here. What streaming service? That one's on Netflix. And the post office doesn't do that to you. No, the post office for me, like, I don't know what it's like now. And I know that it's changed a lot over the years. Like, someone asked me not long ago, like, oh, what was it like to take the civil service test? I have no fucking idea. I don't know what a civil service test is. I never took one. I think that the post office has gone through a lot of changes. Doing like the civil service test, if it's still a thing, that would probably be a thing for someone who is coming from 0 to full-time. And for me, I went from 0 to temporary employee and then was converted to full-time after about 3.5 years. I don't know what they do anymore as far as a hiring process. I haven't talked to any of the people who've been hired recently, what they do now. But for me, it was, I applied, and then I did have to go take a test, but that test was more of a, like, here's 2 addresses, find the difference between the 2. And, here's a zip code, and then, on the next page, you have to type in what that zip code was. Like, it was fairly simple. And I have no idea how it was scored, what my score may have been. I don't know how any of that shit worked. All I know is that I took this test, I passed it, and I got hired. They did like I think they might have done a driver history, and they definitely did like the other general, background check when you apply for a job type of thing, like, checking with past employers and checking with your references, shit like that. Like, that's the type of thing that they did. Very basic shit. But a drug test, I think, if I remember right, I think they did a drug test. But I don't even remember if they did that. They probably did. I'm gonna say yes on the drug test. But no, nothing real crazy to become a member of the Postal Service. At least when I applied in 2013, I think if anything, it's probably even less strenuous now. I don't know if they still do the test or not. When I converted to full time, the only thing that I had to do was go and give my fingerprints to the local police department. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. Cause a guy let's see here, told me he had to put 3 fingers in my butt if I wanted to be your friend, and I thought that was weird. That's from Jason. Jason always coming with the comedy. Yeah, we definitely got to do a cigar bar episode here in the near future. Let me look at my calendar right now. Me and Jason are going to converse via the podcast. My calendar is looking good for any of the Saturday nights after this Saturday night. Pretty much, I have every Saturday night open after this Saturday night. There might be like a Deerfield Fair Saturday night in there at some point. But after that, they're all pretty much open. Or aside from that, aside from this weekend and aside from that Deerfield Fair weekend, they're all pretty much open, all the way until fucking Christmas. Christmas is on a Saturday this year. Christmas Day is on a Sunday, which means Christmas Day observed is on a Monday. That'll be cool. I'm okay with that. That'll be cool because that's 2 days off. I'll get 2 days off there, and then the following week it's gonna be New Year's. It feels like this year flew by. It definitely feels like the summer flew by. I know I talked about it a few episodes ago about how quickly the summer went by and how next summer I want to set aside a weekend for me and my mate to just chill at home and do fucking nothing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to set aside and we're going to pretend that we are not in the fucking city at all. We're not even in the state. We are away. And, even if that means that we walk downtown and people are like, oh, you're here? I thought you were gone. No, we're not really here. We are figments of your imagination. 4 days of being able to sleep in together and maybe mildly annoy each other to the point of like, okay, yeah, now we're good to go back to work. So yeah, that's definitely going to be on our agenda for next summer. A 4-day, no obligation break from it all. But I mean, this summer just flew by, and it's already fall. Summer, the nights are getting fucking shorter. Sunset was at 7:01 tonight here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I said to Ro right before I came up here that it's crazy that just a few weeks ago, just a handful of weeks ago, she was playing softball. It's at 8:00 at night. She was playing softball with no lights or anything. Maybe there might have been lights, but there were certainly times over the summer where it's 8:00 at night. And you don't need any lights to play softball because it's still light enough out. That's like, those are my perfect planet. Like, if I could design a planet, if I was to be like, I'm going to search the planet, I'm going to search the universe for the planet to live on. This is what I want. First of all, there's no more in between. It's either 80 degrees or it's 30 degrees, right? And there might be like a 2-week break in there where it goes from one to the other, right? That break, that time period of like going from 30 to 80, it only lasts 2 weeks. Like, the temperature goes up like 5 degrees a day over the course of 2 weeks. The average temperature goes up 5 degrees a day over the course of 2 weeks, and then also goes down 5 degrees a day over the course of 2 weeks. So we still get summer and we still get winter. All right, let's do away with spring and fall. All right, I don't like either of them. I don't like that in between. I don't like 50-degree weather. I don't like 60-degree weather. I just don't, I don't like that in between of like, oh, it's fucking cold out. Like at 40 degrees, I fucking hate a 40-degree day. It's fucking cold out, but there's no snow. There's no, I can't go snowmobiling. I can't like sit on the porch and, or not on the porch, but like, we can't sit on the couch and watch the snow fall outside. Like, it's just gross out. Like I know what's coming. I know what's coming in about a month, which is going to be the 40-degree rainy day, which is arguably the worst day of the year, is 40-degree rain because it's way too fucking cold and it's raining, which makes it even colder and more miserable. I hate those days. So that's first thing. All right. First thing is that we are going to, on my ideal planet that I find out there in the universe, we're going to do away with spring and fall. It's going to be summer and winter only. All right. All days of the year, sunlight is going to be from, well, this is a tough one because there's also a time change on my planet. It's a 36-hour day. All right. 36-hour day. I want 12 hours of night. All right. 12 hours of night and 8 hours or 24 hours of daylight. All right. So the way that my mind works on this is that you got a 36-hour day. That means that I can work for 12 hours a day, 10 to 12 hours a day, and make a bunch of money in overtime, all that shit, right? But then I also get 12 to 14 hours a day of me time to just fucking do whatever I want, right? Because right now, as this planet spins, if I work 12 hours today, like today was a 10-hour day. Today's a good example. All right, today's a good example. I woke up, me and Ro, Ro woke up a few minutes before me, but we got up at 6 o'clock this morning. We go to the gym for a little bit together, and then we part ways, and I go to work from 8 a.m. this morning to 6:30-ish tonight. And then I come home, and I've been home for about 2 hours now. And I've spent almost an hour of that doing this podcast, and my night is pretty much over. Like, I got to do the show with Tom, and then once that's over, I'm going to bed. All right? So I've barely gotten any time today to just fucking sit down and do nothing for a minute. It's been work all day, and then I came home. I got to chill out and talk to my girlfriend for a minute, and then move on into this podcast zone, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And honestly, I'm fucking looking forward to that part of the day today because my brain is fucking fried. I don't know how I'm struggling through this last few minutes of this. So 36-hour day would give me time to work 10 to 12 hours a day, make that overtime. Then I get 10 to 12 hours of me time, or 12 to 14 hours of me time, right? To just fucking, do a podcast for an hour and then chill on the couch for a little while, go to the gym, shower. I mean, I shower in the morning after the gym, but you know what I mean, right? Like the gym and the shower part, like that comes in the morning part of my 36-hour day. Then the best part of this 36-hour day is that I can schedule 12 hours a day towards sleep. All right. Right now, I'm lucky if I get 6 hours of sleep a night. All right. Even last night we went to bed. The last 2 nights, in fact, fucking Saturday night, we had all these big plans. We're like, all right, I'm going to get home. We're going to make dinner together. And then, or no, we didn't make dinner together. She made me an amazing chicken thigh dinner. Oh, it was so good. But we're going to, she's going to make dinner. We're going to chill out. We're going to have some beers together. We're going to fucking have fun. We're going to watch a couple TV shows. We're going to do all this shit. We're going to stay up and, football's not until 11 or 11:30 on Sunday morning. So we don't, we can go to bed as late as like 2 a.m. and still get 8 hours of sleep. We lasted, so at like 10 o'clock, maybe even 9:30. It might have been 9:30. She goes upstairs to go take her shower. And I start doing all of my nighttime chores, which is, I'm doing dishes, I'm taking the trash out, that type of thing, right? I come back and sit on the couch, and I'm sitting on the couch, and my eyes are getting heavy while I'm sitting on the couch. I'm thinking to myself, like, how am I going to fucking struggle through a couple episodes of Cobra Kai, or, the Thor movie, or fucking an episode of Lord of the Rings, or something like that? Like, how am I going to fucking struggle through this? And I think we had decided on Cobra Kai, and I think that I had said, like, we're going to watch at least 2 episodes. And I'm sitting there on the couch thinking, how am I even going to get through 1 episode? And even if I can get through 1 episode, how am I going to get out of what I just said of we're going to stay up until fucking 2 a.m. and we're going to watch another episode? My mate comes downstairs at 11 o'clock and she goes, I think I just want to go to bed. And I breathed the biggest sigh of relief. I was like, oh, thank God. So do I. I think that I just want to go to bed. I'm tired. I just want to go late. And at first I was like, can I go to bed with you? Like, because sometimes, I'm not a good sleeper. I fucking snore and I do a lot of tossing and turning around and stuff like that. So sometimes, it's nice for her to have like, a little bit of time to herself in the bed where there's not all this distraction of me. I was like, do you mind if I go with you? She was like, I would love that. So that was great. But, we ended up sleeping that night for like 10 or 11 hours. I mean, we both slept right through the night, which actually is highly unusual for me anyways on a Sunday when we both have Sunday morning off and we have nothing to do. Usually by like 7 or 8 in the morning, I've been fucking moving around so much in my sleep that eventually she's like, you got to fucking go downstairs and watch TV or something, sleep on the couch, do whatever you want to do, feed the cats, do something, but I need to be able to get some sleep. It's highly unusual that we would both end up sleeping for 10 or 11 hours. The only time that I remember waking up, or at least her waking me up, was that she was trying to tell me to roll over, and for some reason I thought that she was trying to hand me a cigarette. Keep in mind, neither of us smoke. I thought that she was trying to hand me a cigarette. And that was not the case. She was trying to tell me to roll over, and I kept tapping my chest, and she was asking me why I was tapping my chest, and I was like, I'm trying to get the thing, and she was like, what thing? Just roll over. And then I told her the next morning that the reason that I kept having my chest was I was trying to reach for the cigarette that I thought she was trying to hand me. So, anyways, I don't remember how all that started, and it doesn't really matter. Yeah, my 36-hour day. Sleep for 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours of being able to work and get some overtime, and then another 12 to 14 hours of just me time to do whatever the fuck it is I want to do. Watch TV, whatever I need to do. So that's my ideal planet. Yeah, summer is just shy of 6 months long, and it's 80 degrees or better every day. Winter is also just shy of 6 months long, and it's 30 degrees and snowing almost every day. Sunlight for 24 of those 36 hours, and then 36-hour days. And that's my ideal. Like, why can't we find that planet? I want to find that planet. I figure a 36-hour day, the planet size has to be just a little bit bigger than what we're on now. So get to work, NASA. All right. 55 minutes. That's enough. All right. I covered pretty much what I wanted to. I thought I was your mate from Tom. Tom and I are about to do our show. So if you want to chime in on that, that is the show New England Natives. It's on Facebook. Just search New England Natives. You'll see a little image there. It's green and white. Looks like a little map from Indiana Jones. And we'll shoot the shit about some stuff. And we'll have a good time together, and we do that show, and we try to do it, maybe once a week, once every couple weeks. We try to get one out there once in a while, so check in on that, New England Natives, and that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check out my sponsors, 4HM Clothing. Talked to Justin the other day, 4HMclothing.com. Use offer code ADULTING. What's going on over at Adam and Eve? While I mosey my way over to Adam Eve. My other sponsors, StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use offer code ADULTING. Get some cool energy stuff. It comes in a little pouch that you just pour into whatever you want. Pour the little sugary crystals into your water bottle or your Gatorade or whatever, and it gives you energy for the whole day. And Manscaped.com. Use offer code ADULTING, get 20%. Strikeforce Energy is 20% off your order. Manscaped.com is offer code ADULTING. Get 20% off your order. 4HM Clothing is offer code ADULTING. Get 10% off any order over $50. And Adam Eve, what's going on over here? 5 sex toys every man should try. Excuse me. Masturbators. These are like the Fleshlight. All right. That's basically like Fleshlight was the first one. And then, there was just a bunch of people that copied them. So masturbators are probably going to be like the number one. Always. Penis rings. These are like silicone rings that, in some cases, they're just like a silicone ring that goes over your good and plenties. And then in other cases, they have a little vibrating thing. Provide additional pleasure to both you and your lover during sex. Prostate toys. Can't say I've ever tried one of these, but I have seen the movie Road Trip. And supposedly it's supposed to be like a really good thing. Haven't been there. Haven't ventured down that road quite yet. No pun intended. Maximum arousal happens when your prostate is massaged. These toys are designed to hit the spot to give you intense, long-lasting orgasms. Penis pumps. I've never, I don't know. I mean, I've never used one, but I've never heard of another person using them. I feel like there might be a lot of male adult entertainers that are probably using these. That's my guess. Either that or there's a very small segment of the population that is built like that. Penis sleeves and extensions. Again, this is like a silicone thing that slides over your member. Boost your length and girth while increasing stimulation to you and your lover. Extensions offer more sensations for you and more size for her. Okay. I mean, I have my own thoughts on that. my mate has talked to me about the whole size thing, and I know that on this show I've mentioned like my confusion of like why it's only guys that seem to care about that or seem to care so much about that. But either way, if you want to get one of those, go ahead. It's a silicone thing. My belief is that if you put that on, it's probably going to fall off anyways. But what do I know? Anyways, if you want to go to adameve.com, use offer code adulting. Interesting. The bottom of the Adam Eve page says, in memory of Adam Eve, founder Phil Harvey, whose philanthropic spirit changed the world. And there's a hyperlink to Phil Harvey, and he looks exactly like I would picture the creator of a sex toy website to look. Born 1938, died December 2021. Successful businessman, devoted philanthropist, a tireless free speech advocate. Those are just some of the many accolades that Phil Harvey earned during his life. Started Adam Eve as a graduate student in 1971. Phil's company grew into the largest and oldest adult retailer in the U.S., with over 10 million customers all over the world and annual revenues in the hundreds of millions. I'm actually surprised it's only in the hundreds of millions. When you see the markup on adult toys, it's surprising to me it's only in the hundreds of millions. Phil founded two major international charities, Population Services International and DKT International. PSI has saved over 2 million lives by fighting diseases and providing better access to healthcare. DKT has sold around 1 billion condoms and contraceptives in 90 countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Phil fought hard. How long is this? Because I don't want to read his entire biography. Yeah. If you go to adameve.com and scroll to the bottom, you can read more about Phil Harvey. You can also buy stuff and use offer code adulting and get 50% off any one item. Get free shipping. Get 6 free adult DVDs. A special gift for him, a special gift for her, a special gift for you both. So do that. Go to adameve.com. Use offer code adulting. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, I will be on New England Natives very shortly. Have a good night.